My name is Chris.
And I'm Melody.
And we're a couple who love Disney movies and decided to start a podcast where we watch every Disney animated movie ever.
You always say ever.
Well, this is our intro.
It is.
I think it's hard to say. You gotta have some consistency. You gotta introduce what your podcast is about.
I guess so.
And then we're gonna talk about them. We're gonna watch every Disney animated film in the canon.
I see.
There's a canon.
Whenever we started this, you didn't. I thought you were just kidding when you said everyone. I thought it was just like a little fun thing you were saying. I didn't know
there's only 80 something of them.
Yeah, that's true. We can do it.
We'll do this we'll finish this up in no time. We only put out an episode every week.
Yeah, every 2 to 3 weeks maybe.
Anyway, we watch a Disney film together, and then we have a cup of tea, and then we talk about them.
Indeed.
What are we drinking today, Melody?
You're just drinking...
I don't know what I'm drinking. I asked you to make me a cup of tea and not tell me what it is.
You're drinking a mint medley. Hashtag tea proudly.
I haven't actually tasted it yet because it's so hot.
Yeah, it's way too hot, sorry. We use the electric kettle for this. And it really steams it.
It burns. It burns the lips.
And I'm drinking the immune support tea still. This is like my... third night in a row drinking it with a dash of apple cider vinegar. Are
you feeling stronger? Better? More
better.
Immune-like?
Well, because...
How are your immunities?
We gotta try everything before our trip to LA. I gotta make sure everything is as strong as it can be.
Okay.
I thought you were asking about the apple cider vinegar, if it was making me stronger or not.
Well, sure, that too.
I have noticed, just an overall general... It's supposed to be good for inflammation and a cure-all thing.
That's good. You're not as inflamed.
Not as inflamed, no.
That's good. Yeah, we're going to Los Angeles next week. And for a vacation.
Indeed.
Belated honeymoon.
I'm excited.
We'll be going to Disneyland. So we can talk about that on our next episode.
Yes, we can.
As well as whatever next movie we decide to do. Our first episode we did Pinocchio, and then... we did Raya and the Last Dragon, so we hit both ends of the spectrum, and now we're kind of hitting it for a third episode this week. We're hitting directly in the middle.
Yes.
So in the 90s.
Our childhood.
Our childhood. We're finally hitting first we hit our grandparents' childhood, then we hit the children of today.
And now...
I didn't ask, when we saw our nephew and nieces over Christmas, we didn't ask them if they had seen Raya and the Last Dragon.
That's because we know they probably haven't.
I don't know. I bet my niece and nephew have. They
really?
watch. Yeah, they watch everything. So this week we are talking about 1997's Hercules. Let's see. You were a bit younger than I was when this came out.
97. I was 7 years old.
Okay, so I was 8.
Gotcha. That's the beauty of being born in 1990, because everything is
You know exactly what age you were.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, I always have to subtract a year, so I have to pause and do math in my head. It's not really strong math or anything. It's just -1.
You have to count on a few fingers.
It's just -1, but it takes
some
me
words
a second.
out loud.
But yeah, we are talking about 1997's Hercules. This was your suggestion.
Well, I guess I just
to watch it.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it isn't really one that I always gravitate towards.
Sure.
Maybe just because
haven't seen it in a while.
It's mainly just the ladies singing. It just kind of. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just the vibe of it. I think I just was always kind of anti-musical as a kid. Even my friends that were involved in theater, they're like, come see our play. And I was like, no. Yeah. Because I was just kind of ooh, this is way too happy, smiley, cheesy for me.
Yeah, it's a little much.
Things that are a bit more rooted and, So, but, I mean... I wanted to watch Hercules because it was one I hadn't seen in a long time. So.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this in a long time either. Did you, see this when you were a kid? Did you see this when you were 7?
No, definitely not.
Not interested or not allowed?
Oh my gosh. No.
You can't be watching that Hercules stuff. It's immoral.
I think there's certain ones we just didn't really care about as a kid. There's certain movies that just got swept under the rug. It wasn't I probably actually watched it in school, honestly. I'm thinking maybe... Yeah. 6th grade, maybe we watched Hercules because we were talking about maybe a Greek book or something.
It wasn't even hey, everybody is
No, I mean, I'm sure it was probably just like a filler thing, but at the same time they're like, oh, it's talking about
Greek
mythology stuff. Yeah.
Really just name dropping stuff. Really just like Zeus is a character.
Yeah.
Hades is a character.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't alone, because this movie didn't do great at the box office.
Yeah.
It made about like half the money that I don't think it did terribly, but it was considered a disappointment by the Disney shareholders. It made about half the money that or less than half the money that Lion King made.
Oh wow.
So a significant drop off from Disney's highest point in the 90s, which
I
was
wonder
Lion
if
King.
it was like the animation style that just wasn't very popular. Because it just doesn't look the same as like
maybe a little
Beauty
bit.
and the Beast or Snow White. Like, it doesn't have like that classic look to it.
Yeah, it's not like it's going for more of a comedy for sure. So it has a little bit more of a cartoonish kind of look to it. One interesting thing I looked up about this movie, and I didn't really know, is that the production designer, sort of the guy who like designed the characters, came up with the sort of design for all the characters, is an artist named I'm probably going to pronounce the name wrong, Gerald Scarfe.
Okay.
Have you heard of this guy before?
No, I haven't.
And I instantly kind of recognized his drawing style, though, because it's really, really out there. I'm Googling Gerald Scarfe animation right now.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I think I saw something about him yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
It showed, like, how bizarre and kind of dark his stuff is.
Yes, it's very dark. It's very bizarre. He was
insane.
before Hercules, he was most well known for doing animation for The Wall, Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Yeah, Pink Floyd and all that. So,
so a very, very unique,
gives you an
style.
idea of like what type of was strange trip looking kind of.
Yeah, very kind of gonzo looking. So he's an interesting choice for doing like designing characters for a Disney movie. But you can totally see, if you Google his name, Gerald Scarfe in Hercules, you can see sort of his designs for the characters, and you can kind of see that they're totally pretty accurate. Like they kind of like Disneyify his style a little bit. But,
yeah, I would say so too.
But it still kind of retains that style there. Yeah.
Which is why maybe like it kind of, I don't know, like it maybe kind of felt too dark for me. Like even though it was a Disney movie, as a kid, I think I felt like there was something kind of creepier about the way these characters looked compared to like other.
There's a lot of spiral nipples in this movie.
There are a lot of spiral nipples.
A lot of swirly chins. Yeah, just a lot of like spirals and swirls in these characters, which is interesting. But anyway, let's get into the story of this movie. Okay. So, most of the Disney movies around this time are sort of based off of either like a classic story or some sort of, like already established kind of thing, So Hercules seems kind of like almost like a natural choice for them to adapt something for. Even though Lion King is like one of their most popular films, and that's a completely original story.
Yeah. I
mean, it definitely takes things from like Hamlet and like the story of Moses too. But Hercules is kind of really in name only, though. They're kind of just taking these characters from Greek mythology and kind of making their own story around it. Anyway, we establish this character of Hercules, and he's born into Mount Olympus.
Sorry, never mind. I almost said like a manger.
A manger.
He's born into
a manger.
Still got Christmas on the mind.
He's the chosen one. No, so he is born onto Mount Olympus to Zeus and Hera. So Zeus is like king of Mount Olympus, and his brother Hades, who's played by James Woods, is incredibly jealous of his brother and wants to take the throne from him. And as I say it out loud, I'm realizing how much it sounds like the Lion King. His brother who wants to take the throne from him. And has
You're
to
right,
get rid of
which is maybe, well, we'll get to that later.
So Hades finds out from these three like Macbeth witches that he has to that he's going to be able to take over the throne in like 20 years when the planets align.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden all of these titans are released from their prison, but he's warned that Hercules could stop him, has the power to stop him.
Did you say 20 years?
Yeah, they say 20 years.
It's 18 years.
18 years?
Yes.
Oh,
because
I
it was
wrong.
like his 18th birthday.
Oh, you're right. I failed. I'm gonna go fall on my sword now.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, he's like, well, I gotta kill my nephew Hercules. So for some reason he sends like his two dumbest assistants to go get rid of him. And luckily, he happens to have this little pink bottle of potion that will turn Hercules from a god into a mortal.
Yeah. It doesn't explain any of that. It just shows, somehow, he steals Hercules in, like, the dead of the night, or somehow nobody notices that he sneaks into Zeus's house.
There's no any kind of security on Mount Olympus.
And he's, like, a glowing little god baby. And as they force feed him this potion thing, he's color changed into like a normal human color. But one teeny tiny drop left.
They say he has to drink the whole potion.
One little purple drop is left.
Yeah, which his minions are voiced by a couple actors. One of them is comedian Bobcat Goldthwait, who has like one of the most distinct voices.
Oh, gotcha.
He's the one who talks like this.
Yes, that one.
Anyway. Yeah, where did Hades get that potion?
Probably got it from Emperor Cusco.
It does look like the same potion.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this looks like an Emperor's New Groove.
This movie reminded me of the Emperor's New Groove in a lot of ways.
The style of the animation a little?
I guess mostly in how it's like
the
really trying to be
of it.
I think more so I think more so the tone. I think the more fact that it was trying to be really, really comedic. Like this is a funnier air quotes type of Disney movie that they hadn't really made in a long time. Emperor's New Groove seems to be like the more successful version of this movie, I think.
But that's not even Disney though, is it?
Yeah, it is.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, there's like a few movies.
We'll talk about Emperor's New Groove.
There's a few movies that I've mentioned to you before that you're like, oh, that's not Disney, and I'm like, what?
Anyway, where was I? So anyway, Hercules is raised on Earth by two nice humans.
They just happened about him one day.
They just happened, just like Moses. And then he grows up. He's human, except he has incredible strength. It's like the little piece of God that's still left within him. Yep. So he grows up, and of course, instead of everyone thinking he's awesome and cool for being super strong, everyone hates him and thinks he's like a jerk. And they call him Hercules.
Yeah.
And he's clumsy. He can't control his strength.
Yeah.
Ugh, I wish I had that problem.
Well, I'm glad you don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Don't want any holes punched in travel.
So his parents tell him one day that he is the son of Zeus, or that at least that they found him, and he had the symbol of Zeus around his neck. He goes to this temple of Zeus. Zeus, comes to him essentially,
like a Mushu kind of Mulan.
Yeah,
inhabits the stone.
Mm-hmm. And tells him that he is his son, and that if he can prove himself a true hero, his godhood will be restored. And he's like, how do I do that? And he's like, IDK. Go find Danny DeVito.
And he says become a hero.
Right, he says become a hero.
He knows exactly how.
Well, he does, but how do you become a true hero?
He has to discover on his own.
I guess so.
Remember, it's in the heart.
Well, he doesn't find that out till later.
Till much later, yeah.
So he's like, IDK, go find Danny DeVito and have him train you. So he goes find Danny DeVito, who is a centaur man. Or
how fitting. They, made the character look like Danny DeVito.
Yeah. They basically
kind of like
Danny DeVito, you'll be our comic
It's like a
sidekick.
Short joke, too. It's like, this is kind of insulting. Okay.
So this is following in the tradition of, from pretty much that was most successful with Aladdin and Robin Williams, of just hire a comedian to be the sidekick character.
Yeah.
He'll have all the jokes. So he's trained, he gets super strong, even though he was already super strong, but now he looks super strong. I guess he learns to control his strength, and he goes and becomes a really successful movie star, essentially.
Well, not yet. It was essentially Hades, he thought that he was dead this whole time.
Oh, that's right. I skipped over this part.
And then he found out, wait a minute, because that Meg girl. Yeah, so Meg was arguing with, she was this woman that's entrapped by Hades.
Yeah, I guess Hades just also is as part of also being in charge of the underworld. He likes to go around and make deals with people and then entrap them.
Yes.
And instead of taking their souls immediately. He has her. I guess she's still alive, and
does little errands.
Does his errands for him. So Hercules meets Meg and is immediately smitten by her. And then, but basically, she kind of is forced by Hades to kind of, entrap Hercules or find out information on Hercules.
So he uses her and her charm.
Was this another plot hole that didn't make sense to me? Like, Hades didn't know that Hercules was still alive. He thought that he took care of that 18 years ago. Does he never talk to Zeus? Did Zeus just never tell him, oh, by the way, my son's alive? Like, he's on Earth.
I don't know.
He's
Maybe
just part
he
human
was just
now.
trying to protect him or something.
he secretly knows Zeus, or Hades is the one who stole him. He's just not going to do anything. He's just not going to say anything because it'll be weird. It's like bringing up politics
I think he just
Christmas.
didn't think, because like at the end, like the scene where he's like, "You're behind all this."
Yeah, he acted surprised that
So
the gray-looking evil guy who runs the underworld,
the blue flaming hair,
was plotting against him the whole time. It was you, the villain, the whole time.
So
the funniest joke in the movie.
Huh?
Someone call ISII.
Oh yeah.
That's the funniest joke in the movie. These two little kids are trapped under a rock and they're screaming for help. And one of them yells out, "Somebody call IXII." Anyway, so...
Which those of you that don't get that, I guess they'll get it.
Mm-hmm. Roman numerals.
I didn't get it at first.
I didn't get it as a child. I appreciated it. I think I saw this when I was in college and was like, oh, that's funny. That's why the adults laughed when I watched this in 1997.
Of course, they weren't actually real little kids, though. They were the little sidekicks.
Right. Pain and panic.
Which, I don't know why... Oh, because I guess Hades...
It was a trap.
It was a trap, but the trap didn't work because he
Right.
was too strong for it.
So Hades throws everything he can think of at him, all of these
it just keeps
trials.
making him more famous.
All the monsters. Yeah, it just keeps making him more famous. It was almost like they were kind of trying to do like a... some sort of comment on like famous athletes or like endorsement deals.
Oh yeah,
because Hercules has all of these like he has all of this merchandise and he's like, I'm an action figure,
quite literally.
And he basically goes to Zeus and he's like, hey, can I come back home because I feel like I've reached true heroship now. I mean, I'm famous. And he's like, oh, being famous doesn't make you a true hero. And he's like, well, what would make me a true hero? And he's like, IDK, bye. This is when he kind of goes on his date with Meg.
I think they went on the date because maybe Hades put her up to it or something.
Right.
And then she realizes that she likes him during the date.
Right.
And then, like, I guess she was like, oh, I've been hurt before.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So then Hades is basically like, I'll let Meg go if you give up your strength for one day. So he's like, okay, deal. He's like, Hercules is kind of dumb. So he's like, okay, people are going to get hurt, aren't there? And Hades is like, no, it's fine. You can trust me. Would I lie? So then he gives up his strength. He loses his strength. Hades goes and attacks. This is when all the Titans are freed. He goes and attacks Mount Olympus. And then the Cyclops shows up.
Oh, yeah.
Another one of my favorite jokes in the movie where all the Titans are released and they're like marching down. And they're like, Zeus, we're coming for you, Zeus. And then Hades goes, hey guys, Olympus would be that way.
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
And then just go, Zeus, and turn around.
And then he doesn't have any of his strength.
He doesn't have any strength, so
he
the
can't
Cyclops
fight them all.
beats the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And then I forget how he defeats the Cyclops without his strength. He does something clever.
Maybe Meg gets hurt, so then all of a sudden he gets his strength back because it broke Hades' promise.
No, he defeats the Cyclops before that. I think he trips him somehow.
I don't remember.
He uses intelligence. I was getting a cookie during this part of the movie.
You were getting a what?
A cookie.
A cookie, okay. I didn't know what you said there.
I was getting a cookie during this part of the movie, so I don't remember. But anyway, Meg does there's a column that's about to fall on Hercules, and Meg is like, Hercules, look out! And then she pushes him aside, and then she gets a freaking column, falls on her, and crushes her.
I know. It's like she sacrificed herself for him.
Right, and she's already the size of a toothpick, so
yeah.
it just crushes her, just like a twig snapping. And somehow she doesn't die instantly.
Yeah.
So because Hades promised that she wouldn't get hurt, he gets his strength back.
Yeah.
So Hades actually kept his end of the bargain. Just saying.
It's true, he did. You're
Not
right.
that bad of a guy. I mean, maybe he's the villain, but I think he's also the most likable character in this movie.
Yeah, probably.
So Hercules gets his strength back. He goes to Mount Olympus. He really, really easily and very quickly. This happens in like
he doesn't
a few
go
seconds.
to Olympus yet. He has to go get Meg back because she does die.
Well, first he goes to Mount Olympus and he frees his dad and beats up all the...
Oh, that's right. No, yeah, because like those like Cyclops things, they were attacking...
Yes.
Yeah, and then he got into this like weird volcano thing and he had to get him out of it.
This was another confusing thing because he can't go home to Mount Olympus because he's not a god.
Yeah.
Yet somehow he goes to Mount Olympus to help his dad fight the Titans.
I didn't know that they were... I guess I thought they had like taken them out of Olympus and put them like in... something on Earth. I don't really know.
I don't think so. I think it was at Mount Olympus.
Okay, I'm just saying like I was confused. I'm sorry.
It's okay. This movie is a little confusing.
I think this tea is making me more sleepy.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. There's lots of questions I have about the plot of this movie that don't make a whole lot of sense.
That's why, it really wasn't one that...
At a certain point, we kind of just were like glazing over and we're just like,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have too many talking points for this one.
Oh, that's
it
okay.
Just kind of... See, I don't even know how to describe it. How you know how to describe it.
It's okay. I'll help. Once we get to the plot, I'll help you out a little bit.
How articulate that goes along.
What?
Because Meg is like... Are you always this articulate to Hercules? Right. And it's like, that's how I feel right now.
Right.
I can't articulate
it's okay.
what this movie is like.
Anyway, somehow he goes to Mount Olympus and defeats the Titans. And then Hades is like, oh, by the way, Meg is dying. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Meg is dying. And then he goes back to Meg. She dies before he gets back.
He has to go to the underworld to find her soul.
Yeah,
in that soup. That soul...
The swimming hot tub.
Yes.
Right. So he's like, give me Meg back. And Hades is like, oh, but Meg is in my soup of death.
Isn't there like a soup of death in a Scooby-Doo movie?
Probably.
There is.
There's too many Scooby-Doo movies. I haven't seen them all.
It's like one with that Scrappy.
Is it Scooby-Doo in the soup of death?
I don't know.
Okay. So he's like, hey, Hades, you like making deals. Why don't you take me in Meg's place? If I can get her out of there, then if I can reach her, then you can take me instead. And he's like, all right, sounds good to me. Little does he know, though, that when Hercules reaches Meg, swims down into the soup, as soon as he reaches her, he becomes a god.
Because he sacrificed himself.
Yes.
And that was the act of a true hero.
Yes.
And
the
little
power of the heart.
During the whole time, those little Macbeth witches, they have like a thread that they snip, and that's when a life ends. It's supposed to be like,
what's the matter with these scissors?
Yeah, and it doesn't snip his because it's like a gold strand now.
Yes.
He can't die. He's not immortal anymore.
Insane. So then he goes back to Mount Olympus, but then he's like, actually, I think I'd want to stay here on Earth. This is where I belong. This pretty lady is where I belong. It's where I wanted to be the whole time.
He grew up there the whole time. I mean, now that it's probably what's supposed to be his home is foreign.
Maybe they'll give him visiting rights. Maybe he can come home and visit sometime.
Visiting rights.
Yes.
They can meet him halfway.
Right. The movie ends on a high note. There's lots of music playing. You don't really notice.
Yes, the music of the chorus. The chorus interjects.
All your questions you're forgetting them already because the movie's like, it's over now. We're happy.
The little Destiny's Child chorus. Is that what we call them?
Yes. So okay, let's talk about the music for this film because it's a choice. We'll call it a choice. So someone apparently in the making of this had the idea, I think it was the screenwriter had the idea of using gospel music as this motif for the film. It was kind of like this idea of like, what is our modern day sort of like Greek, chorus, what would
Yeah.
that sound like, I guess.
Yeah.
So like a gospel choir is like kind of what they are equivaling it to. So a lot of the music in this movie is like in the style of gospel music.
Gotcha.
Which I don't think it's bad. I think the music
in
in
this
this
is
pretty
good. It's good music.
Yeah, for the most part. It's just a weird like mix when you take in consideration like the art style, and then the humor, and then you're mixing in like gospel music. I was thinking about that earlier when we were just listening to the soundtrack. Like if you were just to listen to this music, having not seen the movie and having like no context, you'd just be like, "Oh, is this a movie about a gospel choir?" Like no, it's about Hercules. What was your favorite song in the movie?
I like the I can go the distance.
Oh,
yeah.
I can go the distance. Yeah, that I pointed out that one was sung by an actor. He's done mostly Broadway, but he's in the movie The Producers.
Oh yeah,
he plays Carmen Gia.
That was so funny. I had no idea that was that voice.
The fabulously over the top gay butler in The Producers. Yeah, I remember when I found that out. I was like, "This is the same person."
I need to see what he looks like in real life because it's like two polar opposite.
Yeah.
Things.
I know I've seen him in something else. I can't remember what it was though.
Did you have a favorite song?
I like the Meg song, the I Won't Say I'm in Love. I think it's a bop.
Yeah.
You weren't a big fan of it though.
How does it go? I can't remember.
No chance, no way.
Oh, that one.
I won't say it, no. It's good.
That's a good one, yeah.
It kind of stands out, I think, from the other ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that we went over this a bit when we were talking about sort of seeing this when we were, or this movie coming from our childhood, but you didn't really watch it as a kid.
Not really.
Much.
No.
Didn't really have much of an interest.
Maybe that's why I don't have much of a like great memory of it because I was introduced to it through school, so I was like, school.
So not really nostalgia for it. You
not
like
really.
You like associate.
I remember
with
watching it
almost.
on like a rollout TV.
Right.
Just...
They used to do that in school where they would literally put us all in the cafeteria, and then play a movie on a rollout TV. Like in front of everybody in the cafeteria. It's like, we can't hear this. This is a huge cafeteria. There's like 300 kids in the cafeteria right now. Like, you can't keep us all quiet.
It's like, here's this single tiny screen.
Yeah, it's like, we'll turn the volume up as loud as we can, but it won't matter. Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, why am I thinking about like Batman and Robin when I watch this movie? And I think I found out it's because he talked about how when this movie came out, it didn't do that well, and some people blamed it on it competing against other family movies that came out around the time, notably Men in Black, which was a huge hit, and Batman and Robin, which also came out around this time. And I'm like, oh, that's why. It's because I was probably watching Batman and Robin.
Okay, so they came out around the same time.
Yeah, they probably came out on video around the same time, and so I probably watched both of these around Christmas time or something that year. But yeah, it's weird. I do the same thing with like Jurassic Park and The Lion King. Like I associate them together because those are the two movies I probably watched the most when I was like 5 years old. That's funny. Yeah, but I don't think I saw this in the theater. I think at this point, for some reason, like I would see the trailer and not be really into it, not be really interested in it. So I would like not really see these until later, probably. Plus, we didn't go to the movies a whole lot when I was a kid because it was like...
You lived in Crossett, Arkansas.
Yeah, it was like a 30-minute drive to go to the movies. We only went like maybe once a month, and it was usually for like the big stuff, like Titanic.
Yeah.
And saw that. I think I did go see Men in Black. I think I do have a memory of seeing that as a child in the theater. But I don't remember seeing Hercules. Definitely went and saw Batman and Robin in the theater. Yeah. But I don't think I saw this. I think I saw it on video. But I did own this on VHS, so I did like rewatch it when I was probably like 7 or 8 a few times. So yeah, I think it's a kind of a mixed bag of a movie, like you were saying. Like it's kind of very on the surface. I feel like it's trying to be a little bit of everything.
Maybe that's why I have a hard time focusing on it, and I don't have much to say because like. I don't know. There's
not a lot to attach yourself to it because Hercules himself as a character is kind of bland. He's kind of one note. Hades is like the most interesting character in the movie. And apparently originally Hades was just supposed to be like sort of your normal like Scar, Jafar, like menacing sounding villain, you know, like and then James Woods came in and he was like, I think he should be like a game show host, or I think he should be like a Hollywood agent. And so like that was his interpretation of the character. And it's very different than like everything else we had heard from that point. So I think that really helps the movie a lot.
Yeah. And Meg's personality is kind of like, I don't know, sarcastic and kind of like almost trying too hard to be sexy, maybe. I don't know. Like just the way 90s. The way they drew her, you can tell 90s, like the way the top fits and
it's
the hips,
the skinny like heroin chic.
Yeah,
it was like popular that time.
That is a good way to put it.
Yeah, like this is a very like sort of pop culture.
The thin eyebrows too. People would plug their eyebrows to nothing.
But yeah, this is a very like sort of 90s centric pop culture kind of trying to be hip movie.
Yeah,
and I think that is a little bit of a reaction to Pocahontas coming out right before this, and Pocahontas did not do well at all.
Yeah, which is weird because I mean, people love Pocahontas now, I feel like.
I guess.
Not love, but I mean, like, it's definitely one of, like, the main Disney princesses. When, like, you would ask... Because, like, as, like, a young girl, I remember my friends who would be like, oh, which Disney princess are you? It was, like, the rotation of the specific, like, Cinderella, Belle, Pocahontas. Like, well, nobody ever mentions... I guess Meg wasn't a princess. She was just kind of a side. Yeah, that's true. Nobody mentions Meg. She's not in that. She's not a princess.
She's not in that Ralph Breaks the Internet thing, I don't think. So I think it's kind of a reaction to that because Pocahontas did not do well and like people were not into it when it came out. And I don't know, maybe because Pocahontas is such a kind of a serious movie, this was like a reaction to that of like, oh, we got to make this one more fun. We got to make this more funny. I guess Hunchback of Notre Dame came out a little bit before this too. And that's also like a really serious movie.
I think I just liked serious things.
Yeah, maybe. That's true. So maybe that was like a reaction. Like we need to get the kids more interested in this. We need to get like more people, I guess, excited about this. So make it funnier. Make it like put more music and exciting things into it. So yeah, it feels like it's trying to be a little bit of everything and like trying to please everybody. But did it
really do that good? Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. It didn't do well. Like. Yeah. Because it's like trying too hard. Yeah, essentially. So, yeah, I don't know. I think there's stuff about this movie I like, you know, like I did rewatch it a lot as a kid. It's like one of the ones I would put on every now and then. I don't really watch it a lot now, but it's one that I don't mind putting on, kind of. It's almost like a background movie.
Yeah, it's a good background thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's like 2 jokes that really made me laugh. Oh, no, 3. I forgot about the third one.
What was the third one?
The third one is when Pain and Panic are like, this might be a different Hercules he's talking about. Remember like a few years ago when all the boys were all Jason? And the girls were
that part. That was funny.
Was there anything that scarred you in this movie? We talked about...
As a child?
Yeah, things have been Disney, like scarring you and... You know, the Pinocchio donkey stuff and
nothing really
anything
me. I just remember seeing like
traumatizing this.
Not really. I just remember seeing the trailer for it as a kid and being like, "Gross! That blue-haired guy looks disgusting." Is what I would think.
Yeah, there's not really anything like too heart-wrenching or emotional. Again, because there's not really anything super emotional about the movie.
I think it was just like I noticed the drawing style as a kid, and like. Now I like that look, but like when I was like 7 or whatever, I was like, oh, like that looks creepy. I don't want to see that as a little girl.
We'll revisit the 90s again in this podcast, and hopefully we'll watch something better and get something that has more meaning to us. Yeah. We'll save the juicy ones for a guest
podcast.
This was more of a you and me thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my tea's gone cold. And that means we're gonna say goodbye, listener, for now.
Goodbye.
If you loved Hercules and it was your favorite Disney movie growing up, I'm so sorry.
Hope you all had a Merry Christmas
and a Happy New Year.